wood. You can even use it on porcelain. And another great furniture product is the Natchez solution. And this is actually sold at a lot of the antique stores in town. And one thing that Ann has showed me, usually both of these products I apply with a paintbrush. And you use, I keep all my pet food containers because you just pour a little bit of the product, and if you use a paintbrush, you don't waste the product, it goes a long way. And one of our pet peeves is to have dust in the corners, and with that little paintbrush you can get the dust out of the corners of your furniture. So along with an assorted bunch of paintbrushes, I have little teeny tiny ones, and I have 1.5 inch, and actually I have 2-inch brushes as well. Another thing with paintbrushes, these are my, my product brushes, but I have 2 brushes here that are just for lampshades. So I know you're all going to run home and dust your lampshades. And this is just a regular, a very inexpensive brush that Lowe's, Home Depot, any of the big box stores have these little wooden brushes. You can get a better quality, but and this is all I use it for, is lampshades. This is from, I think, the lampshade store. It's almost like a big toothbrush with a nylon bristle, and this is great if you have the pleated lampshades for getting down in the grooves. And it's amazing how dusty lampshades get. You can vacuum them, but it really works better if you take them outside and give them a good brushing. Now, along with the vacuum cleaners, most of in the house I have about 3 uprights, and I have my cabinet over here. Usually what I've been using in the house is the Riccar, and all of our vacuums we deal with AA vacuum on Cottage Hill, and the Jetpack here, this is a great vacuum cleaner for stairs, and it does have this great extension wand to put all your fittings on. So with this house, you need not only your upright, but you need a straight suction as well. The other goodies that I have, now with the chandeliers, the lamp man told me the reason that the wire changes color is people use ammonia-based products. So your little wires that hold the crystal will change colors. He recommends always use a vinegar solution, and I found with the crystals, if you use a t-shirt, it doesn't grab on the little wires. You can use these products, and they're really convenient, the wipes, but these the little paper wipes will catch on the little crystal wires. And you do a lot of rewiring of chandeliers. Do you have any advice on cleaning?
No, that's about what I do.
For the vinegar solution, you make your own, and what's
usually I mix about 1/4 of a cup of vinegar and maybe about a cup of water, and use and I just spray my cloth.
Okay.
And so, a little small bottle. And this is also the bottle, if you have a carpet spot and you don't have carpet cleaner, a little club soda, and you spray it on, does amazing things.
One thing I will suggest is never spray your chandelier. Never take a spray and spray your chandelier. Always spray a cloth and wipe your crystals. Because that'll stay on the metal, like she said, and it'll eventually eat it, rust it, it'll fall off, it'll break and fall off. So I've repaired a lot of stuff like that because they spray their chandeliers.
One of the other products that I use, the glass company was using, it's called Sprayway Glass Cleaner, and it's a foam, and it doesn't have ammonia in it. And one of the things with the home, ammonia can be a dangerous product with antiques and fabrics, so I like the spray way. And if, there again, I always spray my cloth, but if you do spray it on your mirror, it's going to stay, it usually doesn't drip. And I use it on the cases over in the bean gallery. I mean, I do use the Windex at times too, because we buy that in bulk. But this for in the house and the museum cases, I prefer the spray way.
But you would not use that on the chandelier crystals, just on the...
No, I use either the vinegar or, you know, just a damp cloth sometimes. And with the chandeliers or anything in the formal dining room, we have the sconces, and that's usually a project. It's about every 3 months. I dust those. The big chandeliers, usually about twice a year. You know, always before Christmas. Before Christmas, and usually sometimes in the summer when it's when we don't have a lot of visitors, because I can get the ladder in there and do that. Ann, did you want to add anything on the cleaning products?
No, you did.
Now, one of the things that I was thinking about, we all have. Now, this piece was our. Is there one loose wheel? This was the one piece, and I thought, you know, all of us have a piece of furniture like this that either the wheel came out of, and what happens over the years, you know, these little wheels. This piece is a Canterbury. It was actually used for sheet music under a piano, so you could pull it in and out. But through the years, when we use these little wheels, the holes tend to get bigger and bigger, and then you lose the screws. So when I turned this piece over last year, I had screws. The heads, some of them were this big. You know, obviously not the original screw. So what we have done, we've come in and she put an epoxy resin to fill in all those holes. Because if you can't, you know, my dad was a great one for taking a nail to a piece of furniture and just pounding a nail in. Well, yeah, it'll hold for a while, but it's not the right repair. So what we did is we did the epoxy resin, and we did have 3 original wheels. One of Ann's jobs this summer was to find a 3rd wheel that was the right size. And we have it. So that's, will be, now this one is a little bit different because these wheels had the little cup on it. This one will have to basically epoxy this hole. One of our other pieces, and we're going to demonstrate on this one, we have this great gaming table, and being a museum and this piece is out upstairs in the hallway, everybody wants to open it. And through the years, the holes where my hinges are, you know, that gets a lot of wear opening and closing. So all of these holes were bored too, you know, all the screws came out. So what Ann did is took that epoxy, we did this yesterday because she likes it, 8 hours?
Yeah, to dry.
Yeah, you want it to dry. This is basically as hard as wood now to get the screw back in. And then we have the screws here, but that was going to be one of our little projects today, because I know you all have a piece of furniture probably without a wheel or hinges.
Well, this is epoxy. I don't know if any of y'all have ever seen this. Comes in a tube. You can actually get it at Ace Hardware, I have found, and they use it for plumbing stuff. Same identical thing. Does the same identical thing. But this is, I ordered this from Mohawk. Comes in a little tube. And what you do is, I'll go ahead and put the wheel back on this real quick. And this is my nasty little can of Pam spray that I've had for 3 years. They sell a product that you use to mix this with, but it's very expensive and it doesn't last long. Pam spray does the same identical thing, and so I just use Pam spray on it. It's fabulous. What it does is it keeps this stuff from building up on your fingers and taking you about 6 months to get it off. But what I'm going to do is you take a little piece off, and there's a center of it, and this has to be kneaded together for it to work. So I just take it and spray my fingers both fingers, both hands, and then start kneading it. And it has to mix, the colors it has to be one solid color when it's through. And you'll see in here where there's several, where it's two different colors, that has to become one color for it to be ready to work. And what it does when it starts working, it starts getting real hot. And once it starts cooling back down, it starts getting real hard. So this is this will work on anything. I've repaired a mini frame. I've made, what's the word for it? I've used it to go in and make, make my cast, and then put this in the cast to make a piece of a frame. It's fabulous stuff.
And what is it called again?
It's epoxy. I thought I had a tube of it in here. There it is right there. This is what it is. It's Mohawk, and it comes in a dozen colors. It's good for dark furniture, light furniture. If you have holes in furniture, if you have a piece of wood missing, just take it, put it on, do what I'm doing, and put it on, and it'll become hard just like the wood. You can sand it down and then recolor it. You'll never know it's there. It's fabulous, fabulous stuff. But all I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take and put a little bit in the hole. I'm going to wrap a little bit around this and see if I can get most of this in here. I don't know how deep that hole goes.
And that, you said, can be purchased locally at Ace, but
Well,
you ordered that.
I ordered that, and it's not the same thing. It looks like plumbing stuff.
Oh, okay.
But I have found that it works just as well, and it's not near as expensive. Those tubes right there run around $11. And so the ones at Ace are about $7. So it's a big difference.
And the ones at Ace is actually plumbing stuff, you said?
Well, you can find it in the plumbing department.
It would be like plumber's putty.
Yeah.
And it's called marine epoxy.
Yeah.
I use it all the time.
Marine?
It comes in like the old 35 millimeter canisters.
Well,
And
it's
it
this
comes
little
white and green.
tube.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Little
it's
tube. Yeah, white and green is I get it at Ace.
it's
What's it called?
Marine epoxy.
Marine
Yeah,
epoxy.
it works underwater and stuff. They've got non-marine too, but I use marine stuff because
And with the piece that Ann started with, it has the center is a different color.
Yep.
That's because it's a catalyst.
Yeah.
So when you start kneading it together, that's what causes it to work. And then when it gets warm, it's having that chemical reaction.
This will start getting hard now. It's finished. It's actually finished. You let it sit there for a while, and then once you turn it over, it's not going to come back out. And what I always do, I always cheat a little bit because I've done it so long. I'll go back in there and I'll color all this because I don't like to see anything like this sticking out on anything. So, but that's it.
Now, it won't, will it swivel in there?
Yeah, just swivel.
Oh, okay.
It's just the base that's...
Yeah. I don't want to swivel it too much because it's do you want me to go ahead and show them what to do?